SoFloRadio.com, and SoFloTelevision.com.
Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, or a spirit of optimum age in class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze. By the glass.
And that's the part where I forgot to put pepper on.
Now's the part where he starts to say, hey, everybody, welcome to By the Glass. I'm your host, Brett Hubbard, and I'm welcoming you to explore our wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day show. Why don't you give me a little pepper there, George, so we can make everybody feel comfortable now that we've
pepper it right up
made
there.
them all feel very weird and freaky on their Valentine's Day.
I got all excited about my hat.
Hey, lovers, how you doing? I can do a little bit. Love is in the air. Every time I talk around.
That's not Butthole Surfers.
That's not Butthole Surfers? Okay, love is in the air. Who's that? Is that like Barry Gordy? Or
I don't know.
Don't ask Dio. He's only 20-something.
I'll get it.
22. Everybody, hey, welcome to the By the Glass show.
Better late than never, I guess.
Better late than never, yeah. This is our love edition. And yes, I'm spending
We really need a girl here today.
We do.
We have Dio instead.
We have Dio instead. All right, fantastic. Yes. Don't you love production when it all comes together?
Yeah, when it all comes together eventually.
Move in a little. Put those over there.
So much for that.
So much for that, everybody. Hey, how's it going? It is showtime, and we are doing a wonderful show tonight. Thank you for joining us. This is By the Glass, a show about beverage culture where we come to you every Thursday at 6 o'clock on SoFlo Radio and ByTheGlassShow.com. And we like to do so to bring you the most interesting, new, fun, innovative aspects of beverage culture where we drink to taste every Thursday on By the Glass Show. I'm joined by my wonderful producer here, Ivan Bad.
Yeah.
He's hitting up the board tonight and making everything rock for us,
eventually,
so to speak. Yes. My co-host couldn't make it. He's home with his lovely sweetheart. He didn't want to pull himself away from her, so he's doing that on
it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I forgot. But we got intern Dio in the house. Hey, intern Dio, welcome so much for being here. And, of course, I figured all you guys by this time would have gone out and gotten all your fine gifts for Valentine's Day. As you know, most people, they go out and they buy what? Booze, right?
I thought it was the chocolates.
Oh, that's true.
And flowers and a card.
And some wine, maybe?
And wine. That's a little, as you progress.
So normally what I do and what I did last year is I do a holiday pre-show. Unfortunately, the way that it fell this year, it actually fell on Valentine's Day, so I wasn't able to do a holiday pre-show. And, of course, you guys don't. I hope that you have already gotten your wine. Actually, what this show is supposed to be is that you're home, maybe getting prepped, everybody's getting ready, maybe you have it on while you're listening in the background, and also you're thinking to yourself, I bought some wine, I bought some beer for you guys that don't drink wine, I bought some spirits. What am I going to do with these? How am I going to get my wife or girlfriend or significant other here to start drinking tonight? So what we did was we put together a chocolate pairing show. So whenever you bust out chocolate, I like to think that it's pretty much irresistible to most women. George, what's your...
Most, although now... and we need to address this sooner or later.
This is
Dio doesn't like chocolate.
Hold on, I thought he was allergic to it.
Allergic.
Yeah.
So the chocolate that he would have eaten, set those aside because I'm going to need those for later.
There is no chocolate he wouldn't have eaten. There's two of each, and there's one for me and one for you.
All right, great. That's perfect.
It's funny because in the notes tonight,
but the women generally, they don't just like chocolate; they need chocolate.
Yeah.
It's part of it's
that's
like
what
if they
thought.
it's like if they'll get an iron deficiency, but instead of iron, it'll be like a sweetness. Like they need the sweetness that comes from chocolate, or they turn into horrible monsters.
That's true.
The women types.
Absolutely. You don't want your wife, girlfriend, or significant other to turn into a horrible monster on Valentine's Day. So you better feed her some chocolate.
Or in my case, more of one.
Yes. And when you're feeding her chocolate, you definitely want to pair it correctly. Therefore, it becomes beverage culture. And you look so hipster and cool. And she's like, wow, I never thought about that. There's a lot of people out there that never thought about the pairing aspect. Chocolate is one of the world's most amazing foods. It comes from a natural product that's grown in the jungle, the cocoa. No, I'm sorry, not that one. Coca.
Oh, well,
yeah, that one.
Girls like that one, too.
Yeah, the coca. The coca leaf? No, I see the the coconut. I'm sorry. Yes, that's the one.
I'm a coconut. And so are a lot of
We're
going to
talk all about the different kinds of chocolate tonight and how they're made and produced and how they're made into different types of industrial aspects and then also into finer foods and that type of thing. I'll talk about chocolatiers. We would like to thank our...
We got some chocolatier.
We do. Tonight we're talking about all chocolate tonight are brought to you guys by Chocolat Chocolate Factory on 7740 Southwest 24th Street in Davie. It's pretty easy to get to. Just get on 595 to University Drive, go south to hit Nova. And it's pretty close to there. And basically, it's at Nova and University. Go check these guys out. I have bought chocolate for my wife at this place a few times, and they were so gracious to give us some wonderful chocolates. I Instagrammed it out. Do you follow me on Instagram? It's
I just
it's
was
by
trying
the
to
Glass
figure it
Show.
out, but we have to stop.
It's By the Glass Show,
Yes.
you know, and I'm on Twitter at By the Glass Show. You can hit me up at Brett By the Glass on Facebook. Always find out what's going on with the show and see what's happening because we're always doing something great. This is a show about beverage culture, folks, and we drink to
Actually,
taste.
you're Brett Hubbard on Instagram.
All right, so go to Brett Hubbard on Instagram. I'm Brett Hubbard, your host, welcoming you to a wonderful
Brett.
evening of drinking to taste and find out about all the wonderful pairings that we're doing tonight. So let me talk a little bit about the types of chocolates that we have since Chocolat was very kind to donate this chocolate for the evening. We start out with the black and white with the musical notes. Now, I'm going to hopefully have Mr. Gary Dinsel call in. Now, he is a chocolatier out of Tennessee and a very knowledgeable man, and he's just going to explain the basic difference between the dark, the semi-sweet, and the dark semi-sweet, and then you have your milk chocolate, which is a little sweeter, and then you have your white chocolate. Does anybody know how they make white chocolate?
They don't use chocolate. That's
Okay,
all I know
cool.
about it.
That I can eat.
I mean,
I didn't know
'cause-
that. Did you know that if you type into Google, how do you make? Did you ever do that? Like how?
No.
You ever,
Yeah,
like,
one of
do
the
you-
first things
no.
that comes up is white chocolate.
is white chocolate. So I'm thinking a lot of people have no clue how to make white chocolate.
No,
I
they don't
thought it
know
was
where it
just
comes from.
like cream and sugar, you know.
Yeah, man. Everything's cream and sugar.
Yeah.
It's all just cream and sugar. But we have some really cool stuff. So we're going to do wine, spirits, and beer tonight because we don't have enough. You know, we got to freak out and just do it all. So we're going to do a wonderful Zinfandel, which we're going to. The Zinfandel is a little bit sweeter, so we're gonna put that with the dark, and because you want to contrast, and we have a nice Cabernet, and the Cabernet is gonna go with the milk because it's gonna contrast. It's a little bit more acidic, and then we have some nice 10-year rum that's gonna complement a wonderful dark chocolate, and then we have the Brooklyn Brown Ale, which is gonna go with a nice. The white chocolate, because the chocolate notes in the brown ale are going to complement the white chocolate. And then we have the Lagunitas Censored Ale, the Chronic it's called.
What?
The Chronic, yeah. And that's a real wonderful amber ale, and that's going to have a lot of fruity notes, and we're going to put that with it's got fruity nutty notes, and we're going to put that with a nice hazelnut type of chocolate. So we did some wonderful pairings. Going to tell you how these pairings work together because it's an amazing thing. We talk about pairing on this show all the time, pairing food with wine, beer, and spirits. Basic concepts, folks, right? What are the 3 C's, right? We complement, we contrast, and we cut through the fats. We cut through the sweet with spice. We cut through the spice with sweet. We balance each other, right? And this is how we do it. This is we find resonance in flavor, and then we use those resonance to balance off of. There really isn't too many right and wrongs. Some things don't work. But if you go through it and you find out what works for you, then you're going to find some really delightful pairings that you can use in air every day. And the best thing about this, folks, if you take it home and do it for people, they think that you are a genius. You know, it's unbelievable. That
Way to
people
fake your way through life.
It really is, unless you're doing it for real, like me. But you can go home and fake it, and you'll get away with it.
I pretend I'm you all the time. I fake.
So do I.
I'm the fake Brett Hubbard out there. Not fooling anyone.
Will the real Brett Hubbard please stand up? Everybody, come on, do the remember that? And then everybody kind of stands up. Was that like a game show? Do you remember that?
Like to tell the truth or something?
Yeah,
yeah.
22-year-old Dio doesn't remember.
By the
that.
way, it's
I know the
John
Eminem song.
Paul Young. Never would have guessed that. John Paul Young. In a million years, we never would have guessed that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Love is in the air. Oh, that Dave. Of
And
course,
it's in the
that is our.
studio.
By the way, that's our theme song for the day, right? Come on, everybody.
I thought it was Love Stinks.
Yeah, come on. Love is in the air. Yeah, I'm just feeling it, baby. I'm feeling it. We're having a wonderful time here. But you know what? I've been dying for a drink all day, so
Yes.
it is time to start drinking. Let us bust out the first aspect because I'm going to have Gary call in if he wants to. I know
Freaking
it's.
swing it.
Here's the thing, folks. I got to really hand it to these people, Chocolat and Gary Dinsel, because it's Valentine's Day. These people are up to their ankles, or maybe their thighs, or maybe even their noses, in people buying chocolate and buying flowers, and they're very busy. It's their busiest day of the year. It might as well be Christmas Eve for old Saint Nick. So I really do appreciate them giving us their utmost attention because we are promoting them. And these are fine chocolates. Interesting thing about Chocolat, it was basically it's a store. Baruch Shaked is the owner. I'm going to throw his name out there. And he is a gentleman who's from Argentina, or he was in Argentina, and that's where he learned to make chocolate, became a fine chocolatier, and moved back here to share his art with us. And it really is an art. Absolutely, yes. I'm seeing a coasters.
Well, that was for Dio. We're going to work on his peripheral.
Full
vision.
disclosure here, folks. Full disclosure. Okay, so basically, what's the first one we got here? We can talk a little bit about the wine, too. Folks, I love Zinfandel. Now, I know a lot of people at home, when they hear the word Zinfandel, they might think to themselves, what's the first thing you think of when you hear
Chicks.
Why? Because it's what?
Pink.
Pink, right? All the chicks drink pink Zinfandel. Well, folks, pink Zinfandel is when they take the juice from the inside of the grape, just touch the skins to it to make it just a little bit red, and then they ferment the juice, which is extremely sweet. Right? So basically all it is very lightly fermented grape juice. Very sweet. Real Zinfandel, like we're going to try today, mostly comes from old vines. Okay, this is a 2009, which is, it's pretty old, actually, for a Zinfandel. Zinfandel doesn't necessarily, because it's a big wine, it has a lot of alcohol, but it doesn't necessarily have a lot of tannic acid. Tannins are the ones that make that astringent kind of like puckering on your tongue and mouth when you're done. You don't really get that as much from this type of Zinfandel, all right? But these are old vines, and what can we tell from this wine? That it's pretty old because, look, it's got that brick color to it, right? It certainly isn't a pungent sangre, a nice blood. It's more of a brick, kind of like one of those old Chicago bricks. So I can tell this has some age on it, which is nice because you know what happens when they start to age, these wines? Because they do
More
not
flavor.
have their flavor turns a little bit more into raisin and fruit. So that's the kind of fruit we're looking for when we want to pair it. Now, what we're pairing here today is a wonderful, wonderful Soban Estate Zinfandel from Sonoma County, and we're
But
pairing.
this is not pink.
No.
So what?
Okay,
How am I supposed to know that?
Okay,
Besides,
well,
I just heard it on the show.
Right. So basically, real Zinfandel is most of the skin of the grape is macerated to under its own weight. So there's so you get juice, but you also get just as much skin. And what they do is they allow the skin to soak. Where was that piece of paper that had the pairings on it? They allow the skin to soak into the. He moved it on me. They allow the skin to soak in, and that's basically what you're getting is a lot of that red from the skin. Okay, so the first one we're going to start out with, they just marked it as black and white musical notes, but I can tell that it's a very dark chocolate. Now, this chocolate here is going to be very sweet, very acidic. Chocolate has acid like coffee, and it also is made up of how much absolute cocoa they use. It can be up from 50% up to 70%. You guys ever see, like, when you buy the cocoa, the really good chocolate, it says 70% on it?
Right.
That's the amount of the actual nut, the coconut, that's actually in there that they're using. So as we venture into this one here, I'd like to think that, remember, folks, when you're doing the special dark, let's say, or the semi-sweet chocolate, let's go with something sweeter, a sweeter wine that's going to have more fruits in it that's going to pair well with it. So let's take a little sip, and we'll go.
Yeah, I tasted
think,
the wine. Do you taste the wine first? Because this wine's a little bold for me.
Yeah,
This is not.
It's not that sweet.
No, it's pretty
It's
pretty
sweet,
fruity.
but it has a little bit of a bite to it.
But when you
Sure
taste
does,
it
it's
with
very
the
alcoholic.
dark chocolate,
Chocolate helps a lot.
the chocolate helps a lot. You know what the chocolate does, folks? Chocolate has a lactic acid to it that cuts through the tannins, and it allows all the flavors in the wine to come out. Remember, folks, we're trying to balance things. We're trying to get two aspects to make a whole. So the chocolate's going to create a creaminess. It's going to create a little bit of bitterness in your mouth when you use a dark chocolate, and it's going to balance all of the acids and alcohols that are in the wine. So therefore, you're going to have one cancel each other out, and then all you're going to taste. I'll take a napkin too, please. All you're going to taste is the true fruit nature of the wine. Now, this wine is bold, but remember, guys, Zinfandel is a big wine. Old vine Zinfandels, that means it grows on the older vines. That means that they've reproduced the grape from those vines for up to a century in some parts of Sonoma. They are produced because these are very fine grapes that they have longevity. But you know what they have? They have a thick skin on them.
Yeah,
The grape itself is a little larger, and it has more juice than like a small Cabernet grape. Cabernet and Merlot are smaller. Zinfandel grapes are larger. The larger the grape, the more the white interior on the grape, and that white interior is going to give you more sweet fruit to balance that thick skin. But the skin is thick.
And it says it on the bottle, 15%. So yeah, it is a big wine.
15% is tremendous.
Yeah.
But you'll
most,
notice
most wines like a 12 or
yeah, a good wine's a 12, 13. But you know what? As big as it is, when you eat it with the chocolate, it balances, right, George?
Yeah, I just want to mix the chocolate right into this because I could not. I would not. I'd say could not. I would not order this. I wouldn't just drink this by itself.
Well, Zinfandel is
a little strong.
Well, we're doing a pairing show. You know what you do Zinfandel with? A really big steak, but you don't do it with a filet mignon because the filet mignon has too much juice. You do it with something that you're going to cook a little more, like a New York strip or something.
You know, I used to, when I was a younger man, I used to think that the best value was the best way to order a steak, and I would order these big porterhouses and things like that.
Right,
and
which are rare.
I said, "You ever had a fillet?" And they're like, "No, that's just." I've seen you people order your fillets. You get this little, it looks like a little meatball or something like that. Somebody stuck a piece in my mouth. I've never had another kind of steak since. It's like there's no.
Yeah, I'm not a
no
big
going
filet
back.
fan.
I love the fillet. I'll take yours. I'll just pick that thing up and eat it.
Yeah,
I like fillets.
Well, the filet, it's soft. Everybody has their own thing. I'm honestly, I'm not as so much into that soft, fleshy aspect
I am.
of it.
Like
Medium
that soft
rare.
stuff. Although
Yeah.
I will say this, I'll make an exception for a good churrasco, just because
I love churrasco.
yeah.
And what's
love
the
the
little
garlic.
chopped up parsley and garlic that they put on
the
everything?
mojo.
greens.
The,
No.
the mojo, the
Is the
garlic
mojo sauce?
Not the mojo.
But there's the green chimichurri.
Yeah, the
That
chimichurri.
stuff
Yeah.
is amazing. There's a lot of great wines that you can pair with chimichurri too. A lot of good white crisp wines. That's what I love about Argentina. And we had some of the Argentina winemaker in here. They don't grow Zinfandel, they grow Malbec, but that works well with chimichurri as well. Anyway, so back to chocolate. What we're trying right now is a wonderful big Zinfandel Sorbonne Estate from Sonoma County. And this one here, it's called the Fiddletown 2010, but I'm drinking a 2009, which is big. 15% alcohol, but we're putting it with a 70% dark ganache. That's the type of chocolate. It's like a truffle.
That's just a
and
funny
it has
word
this
to me.
amazing type of dark density to it that really balanced the wine. Folks, we're looking to either complement, contrast, or cut through. Another wonderful thing about this is, even though there wasn't tannins to cut through the chocolatey, what cut through the chocolate for you, George? It's very high in
grape
alcohol.
Oh well,
The
yeah,
alcohol,
okay.
the alcohol cut through it.
Because it's a big wine.
It sure did.
Because it's a big wine. So that's what we're looking for when we do these types of pairings, folks. It's pretty amazing stuff. So
I'm acting as a control. I'm just drinking, no parent.
you are, yeah. Unfortunately, what we were talking about before, they say that chocolate is one of the great wonders of the world, and it's kind of like
I'll
sex,
say.
chocolate, and money or whatever. People
Okay,
love.
that's not what I was going to say, but money's good.
What do people love? I don't even know. But
We'll go with that one.
it's kind of like. It's kind of like, you can't eat chocolate. Have you ever tried chocolate in your life?
Yeah, and it doesn't,
And
it
you
doesn't
kinda
end
blew
up
up like
well.
a
We could just watch them
No,
blow
no,
up
no,
here
it's
like
You
not.
look like the Nutty Professor.
I blow up from the inside.
Will you
Oh,
swallow your
that's-
tongue, that kind of thing?
No.
Convulsions?
It's not like the peanuts.
Okay.
What goes in must come out.
It's not
I see.
anaphylaxis.
It's just flaxic.
Anaphylaxis.
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine. She lives right down the road.
Like
Boy, she's in shock. Anyway. All right, so as we're moving right along here, I did like that. I like this Zinfandel. And the beauty of this Zinfandel is that it's a little drier than most. It wasn't too fruity, was it?
No, that's why I liked it.
Yeah, not at all. We're going
It's
to talk
kind of like it's almost kind of like a white wine.
It's interesting, when you're doing a chocolate wine tasting, some of the stuff you want to taste is you want to feel that fruit acid, and then you want to taste the cocoa beans and how they work together. And the tannin is a very, very good indicator of both. They both have it. Both chocolate and wine have tannins, and those tannins are a form of acid that give you that astringency. And when you taste the dark chocolates, you do taste a little bit of astringency in it, and that's what you get. That gives you a little bit of bitterness. And during the pairings, you're going to observe the fruity, nutty, spicy, and woody notes that come from all of these. So I thought that was pretty amazing. Do you guys know how chocolate's made?
I know that guy, too. He gets me tickets for concerts.
Who, Nutty?
Woody Notes.
I love it. That's great.
Concert promoter, as your name might imply.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. There's a few different things here. Chocolate's made by roasting, crushing, and refining cocoa beans along with sugar. Usually they add ingredients like lectin, cocoa butter, vanilla, yada, yada, yada. And then they label it as 70%. Then they take that and dark chocolate's usually at least 50%. Milk chocolate's similar. They dehydrated milk is added, then it softens the chocolate and adds a little bit more of that buttery flavor. We're going to be tasting some milk chocolate next, and we're going to put that with something a little bit more astringent, just to contrast each other. But the three most important processes is they grow it, of course, in the cocoa pods. They're actually little pods. Have you ever seen it? It's kind of like it's a pod on a tree. They take it off and they trim it down, and it looks like this kind of like furry nut. And
No.
it really does. And
What? I'm not supposed to say anything.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not saying anything at all.
I laugh before you can even
then
say
they take the cocoa beans and they refine them, and
I've never seen
they
one.
refine them into
No.
chocolate.
The answer
Yeah.
is no. I've never seen one.
Yeah, they're huge industrial operations. But then and then they take it and they sell that to chocolatiers, and the chocolatiers they make them into bars. You can make them into nibbling or bulk form. And then the chocolatiers then take it, they make it into truffles, coated candies, and other finished products. You know, it's a tricky technical process. But growing cocoa and plantations of you can only grow cocoa on plantations within 15 degrees north or south of the equator. So it has to grow in the
Really?
deep jungle. Who knew?
The tropics.
Not me. Not till
me.
now.
That's the
Yeah,
tropics.
it's actually pretty interesting
Yeah.
stuff. And that's the thing. You guys know that they didn't even discover this stuff. Now, it's not something that we had forever. They didn't
Right.
discover this until 1700s.
Right.
Wow. That's not that long ago.
Late 1700s. And then
Our-
throughout the
our people.
1800s, they shipped this stuff all into Europe. France, Switzerland, and the Netherlands, Belgian chocolates. You guys know Swiss chocolate. I mean, these are the places that Germany. This was like one of the
Right.
finest
It was the
commodities.
The Spanish explorers,
Yeah.
went into South America, and the Indians.
Yeah.
The Indians there, the Incas specifically, introduced them to a crazy plant and that had wonderful properties and was very exciting, and they got a really great product that they turned the Spaniards onto, and the Spaniards said, "What else does this plant do?" And they said, "We get chocolate from it also."
You sure you're not talking about the cocoa leaf?
Oh yeah.
Moving right along here. So anyway, you want to grab the Owl Ridge Cabernet. It's the Sonoma 2007. Oh, I love this one because we're going to be tasting it with the raspberry. Now, what we talked about, remember the first one we had a very acidic wine with not a very acidic wine. It was a little fruitier, but it had a high alcohol.
Right.
So we put that with the more pure chocolate, which can be a little bit high in tannin and more acidic. We use those to contrast each other. Now what we're going to do is we're going to contrast a very acidic wine with a sweeter chocolate. So this one here is the raspberry ganache, and that I would imagine that's not a truffle, but that's kind of like almost like a cream worked into the chocolate, right? So this one's the one with the hearts on it. Here you go, George.
Aw.
Aw.
George is
Absolutely.
getting good at this bottling thing.
George is opening
I've
the
been
bottles.
ever
He's doing
since
pretty
this
damn good.
show. I've gotten good at a lot of things
Right.
since we started By the Glass, especially popping off like I know something at parties. Gotten really good at that one.
I tell you, folks, tune in to By the Glass. Go to buytheglassshow.com. Listen in every Thursday on SoFlo Radio, and you're going to learn something. This is free education. It's fun. It's interesting, and this is something you can use in your everyday life. I think the beverage culture is blowing up at an amazing rate. The renaissance is happening, and if you're not interested, look, if you don't drink, you don't drink. But you don't have to be, it's fun to drink to taste. If you don't have any adverse effects to alcohol and you're just starting to get into it, and you might want to try some wine, try some beer, try some spirits, this is a good show to listen to because we're going to give you information that's a cultural, social aspect of drinking to where it's a very interesting and fun thing. It's not a bad thing. Alcohol can be a very wonderful thing if you use it correctly. Isn't that right, George?
Right. I don't have adverse effects. I have a verse effect to alcohol, as in I'm well versed.
Right.
Not as
He's
versed
very
as
well
Brett
versed.
is.
Anyway, so moving right along here, we have this wonderful Cabernet. Now, folks, as we look at this wonderful Cabernet, we can tell that this one is a little bit, is a little old, man. This one looks almost like rusty blood.
Look at the
Yeah, look
cork
at the
there.
cork. You don't normally
2007.
get 2007. Now, the fact that it's a Sonoma Cabernet, we know what that tells me. Sonoma is not known for its Cabernet. Sonoma produces more fruity type New World wines than it does more tannic, astringent wines. You know why? Because as you move through the valley into Napa and up through the Howell Mountain area, you have black volcanic mountains that really produces the types of really nice rocks that Cabernet likes to get into with its vines, whereas Sonoma has more sand and loam. It's a little bit more towards the beach. There's more microclimates. You have actual elevations to where if you plant the vines below those elevations or above them, they're going to get too much sun up here on the ridge, or they're going to get too much fog down here in the valley. So you need to find spots where Cabernet is going to work well in Sonoma, and it's very tough to do because it's a fickle grape. Just like Pinot Noir, but Pinot is below the line, and Cabernet tends to be above the line. You want it to get a lot of nice sun in the day, right?
Yeah.
But you also want it to cool off at night. Dynamics of microclimate make great grapes. Right? So as we're moving right along, Sonoma can tend to be a little bit fruity. This one's old. What do you think, George, for a
Well, it's It's old and bold
But you know
already,
what?
but it's got some earthy leatheriness to it.
It does, huh? A little tobacco and tar.
I like it better just without eating the chocolate. I like it better than the other. But I'm fond of cabs.
I tell you
And
what,
that's another
this is
thing
a-
that I learned by the
yeah.
glass is I know that I like cabs more than Merlots.
This is an old wine, and this was interesting about this wine is that it's very tawny. It's tawny. It's so old. It's tawny. It's
Like
2007.
Toiga.
Yeah, it's tawny. 2007 is pretty good for a cab. It's just, this is one that's going to go over the hill soon. What is the alcohol level on that one?
14 and a half.
Oh, 14 and a half. So it'll stand up for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
It's bold.
You can tell by the smell it's bold.
I'll tell you what, that's pretty good. Folks, it comes through with some forward fruit, and then do you get that astringency right
Yeah.
now? There is a ton of tannin
It's
still
good.
opening up in this wine, which is pretty good. And I'm excited to try this with this wonderful raspberry ganache, because what's the raspberry going to do, George? It's going to take all that tannin away, right? So you're going to have your forward fruit, and then it's going to balance right in the finish with some really nice.
I'm going to warn you now. I'm not a raspberry fan.
Okay.
However, you see, and now you know why. That's what
Yeah,
they
just
call
a
it
little
that. It's the only fruit I don't like, but
Right.
not everything. Like raspberry and chocolate work really well together. I know
Right.
it's always in there, so I've gotten used to that combination.
Right.
So.
All right, so here we go. A little bit of the.
I will say this wine's very good by itself.
Yeah, it is. Now that's some powerful chocolate right there.
Wow.
And the raspberry
A lot of deep fruit.
is subtle. It's not overbearing at all.
Now,
Yeah.
right away, it takes all of the harshness out of the wine. It allows just fruit to come through in the wine. But you know what? Right now, the tannin is cutting through the raspberry
Yeah.
and the chocolate and cleaning my palate.
Can you
What do
imagine that for all those years, chocolate was on one side of the ocean and the wine was on another side? It
Yeah,
took
that's
all those
true.
years to get
Yeah.
these things together, man. And then wow, I wonder if the Incas. Oh wait, we killed them all. Never mind.
Yeah, they didn't get to enjoy this.
You know, in the beginning of the show, if you guys ever listen to the opening, it says we enjoy the fruits of their labor. The stuff that we enjoy now is thousands of years. It's 1,000
Yeah.
years old.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Wow. Eat a little bit of chocolate.
Do you
takes the
think
edge right
that
off
people made wine and beer like this hundreds and hundreds of years ago?
I'd like to
Possible.
believe that
It's
we've
not-
come
no,
far.
not-
that it's refined now.
It's
that
refined.
Way more subtle.
Tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
We've had history on the show. Yeah, and the thing is that we take for granted walking into Total Wine. A place like that in the 100, even 150, 200 years ago. I mean, the places that produced fine beverage were the cultural centers of any town, city. I mean, why do you think they call it a pub? Because that's where the public hangs out.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was the dude.
It is a tremendous central cultural event, and it's all based around the fact that we all are one under beverage. And did I tell you I'm writing a book?
No, but that's a pledge. Sounds like a pledge of allegiance. One culture under beverage.
One culture under beverage, and that's
That's a good title.
That's pretty good. Thank you, George. I'm gonna steal it.
Go for it. Can I get creds in
You
the
can. You
back?
get credits.
Special thanks
I'll,
to.
I'll thank you on
Thanks
Twitter.
to
Wanna be on the
Ivan
liner,
Bad.
liner notes.
I'll thank you on Instagram. We were having a little Instagram conversation before the show started, and George is getting his Instagram feed under
It's
him,
daunting me.
daunting me.
Yes, I'm vexed by it.
But it is a little vexing. It's a little weird, but I like it.
Well, I can't get my phone to connect. But
People say
Do it.
that it's Facebook for retards who can't spell, but you can put stuff on there too. and,
Yeah, you can write stuff
Yeah, you
in.
can write
I
it
like
in
it because through statuses through pictures.
Right. So anyway, the book is about the fact that it doesn't matter if you're a brain surgeon or a bus driver. When you all go sit down and enjoy your favorite beverage, you're sitting there. You both talk about craft beer. You're equal, because nobody gives a shit about what you do or who you are. What you care about is your love and passion for beverage, and it's one of the few things in the world that can really. I mean, money doesn't bring that out in people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It
Love,
brings out
love,
fights.
love doesn't bring that out in
Nope.
people.
Well, sometimes.
Not really. You know what I mean?
It
What brings,
depends.
what brings that out in people other than the love of good beverage? And I don't mean two schmucks sitting around drinking, Miller Lite. I'm talking about
Three
people
schmucks drinking
enjoying
Cabernet.
their fine beverage.
Has to be three schmucks drinking Cabernet, not Miller Lite.
Three schmucks walk into a bar and order Cabernet. Oh, anyway. Love is in the air, folks. Thank you for joining us on By the Glass, our special our Valentine's Day edition. We're doing a wonderful pairing for you of chocolate with beer, wine, and spirits. I love this. Hey, everybody. Hey. Can we do the old? Don't be scared.
Oh, Freddie Cruz and the Quiet Storm. Happy Valentine's Day to all the ladies out there. I hope that you have someone with you, but if you don't, you have me, Freddie Cruz, tonight. Don't be scared. Go run the bath, I'll wait.
This actually goes out to
Do
all
you
those-
have your chocolates? Tell me your address, I will bring them to you. What kind of wine do you like? Please say something red.
Please. Fantastic. Yeah, that's Freddie Cruz coming out to all you guys for wonderful Valentine's Day.
You know, that's a real person. I didn't, you know,
Oh, is he
this
Freddie
us- we
Cruz?
used to,
Yeah.
used to
He's a
work
real
with him
guy.
at the Coast at Hot 105. He had the evening shift, and that was my routine making fun of him. That's actually a real thing. That's what he would do. That's what he's kind of doing the like the ladies guy,
Right.
ladies man,
Yeah,
kind
ladies
of thing.
man.
Yeah,
He
he's
drinks Courvoisier, ladies man, right? Even the
Yes,
right? All right.
yes, he does.
Fan Courvoisier.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I guess we'll take a quick break because we've been going a half an hour, and this show just flies by too
Sure
quickly.
does.
When you love beverage, this show flies. But we're going to come back, and I'm going to make up some funky drink out of rum and Grand Marnier to mix with our next rum Grenache, which is our next chocolate that's been so kindly donated by Chocolat in Davie. They're at 7740 Southwest 24th Street on Nova Drive and University, and these are amazing chocolates. Folks, I'm telling you. You know how we tell you drink local, support local, buy from your local farms? These guys are making this chocolate in this place. You know, Hoffman's and all those other places, those are big conglomerate corporate monoliths. Why don't we go with something? Let's get some local going. Go to Chocolat, buy their stuff, support
Right on.
your local venue and fair.
Absolutely.
All right, when we come back, we're going to get some rum on, we're going to get some drink on, we're going to get some Valentine's on SoFlo Radio on BuyTheGlassShow.com.
Are you online?
Well, I don't go in for that computer stuff.
Then we're not interested in you. SoFloRadio.com. Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
In these hard economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you have a car, truck, or SUV, you could stop paying for all covered repairs. That's right. You might not have to pay a penny more than you want for repairs. Just call 1-800-610-7840 right now to see if you qualify. Repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past if your vehicle has less than 130,000 miles. Just call 800-610-7840 today and get your car protected, saving you hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Phone lines are open right now. See if your vehicle qualifies. Just call 1-800-610-7840 to get your car protected today. Call 800-610-7840. That's 1-800-610-7840. Never pay for covered car repairs again. Just call 800-610-7840. That's 1-800-610-7840.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
we're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Hey, this is Nathalise from the Sports Head Show. Log on to SoFloRadio.com every Sunday and Tuesday to hear the best in sports. And remember to follow us on Twitter at Edge and the Heads. Sunday's show is a little different. The Heads cover current events, sports, and me, Nathalise Jimenez, discuss the hottest news in entertainment. And for those who want strictly sports, the Tuesday show is just for you. Remember to listen to us on Sundays from 8 to 10 and Tuesdays from 7 to 9. John Etch and the Sports Heads, only on SoFloRadio.com.
And now we return you to By the Glass.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to By the Glass. Oh, George, you snuck that song in there.
Yeah, well, you know.
That's George's version of a Valentine's Day.
I'm not feeling very Valentine's this year. Although I created Valentine's packages.
You did? Yeah.
For my daughters, and including the adopted one.
I love that, and I also love the note that the little card you made for.
Yes, that's from my movie watching buddy.
That's
Shout
hilarious,
out.
man.
Cindy Bear.
Some pretty funny stuff.
Thank you. I'm a funny guy.
One of the little hearts said, "I won't stalk you" or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's a lie. I'll stalk.
Welcome back to By the Glass, everybody. We are doing a wonderful pairing show tonight in honor of Valentine's Day. We're going to put some chocolates together with some wonderful things. We've already just done wine and chocolate, and the interesting thing about it is I think the best thing to do with wine and chocolate, like we just talked about, is to contrast each other. So you want a acidic, tannic wine with a sweeter chocolate, or something that has fruit in it, like we did a raspberry ganache. And then also you want a more fruity wine with a more acidic chocolate, something that's a little bit more of a special dark, that type of thing, so that they balance each other and they counter out the other aspects of the things that people don't like. Because together they are greater than the sum of their parts. That's
I'll say
something that a wise man once told me. Anyway, so here we have a wonderful drink that Dio put together. Now, Dio, tell us a little bit about your drink and how you made it.
There's 2 shots of rum, 2 shots of Grand Marnier, and a shot of club soda with some ice.
Right. So basically what we want to do is we want to create a really nice fruity type of drink that's made of spirits. Now, remember, folks, the spirits is going to be strong because it's a lot of alcohol. But when you want to do a citrus liqueur and cocktail and balance it with the chocolate, you want something, enjoy a glass of Grandma or citrusy type of drink. It's a relatively mild chocolate, made with an African bean, about 60% cocoa. So that's not very stark. That's not extremely, but it's not, So what we did to pair this one, and Daphne Reich and Adriana Shaked, the lovely people over at Chocolat, they gave us these wonderful chocolates, and we thank them very much. They gave us the actual Chocolat Chocolate Factory chocolates to pair with this one. So here we have a really wonderful citrus aspect with the Grand Marnier, and then the rum is, of course, everybody knows rum has made of molasses and canes. Generally, those types, there's either cane or molasses rum. But what the common factor in both of those is that it's sweet, and it has a really wonderful fruit note. So then you want to take something that's very similar. What we're doing here is we're complementing, right?
Yes, you're beautiful.
We are complementing the wonderful sweetness
nice
of the
hair.
rum. Compliment your lovely significant other tonight, and compliment her wonderful chocolate with a wonderful drink. Remember, guys, this is a good chance to get your lady drunk on a wonderful, and you'll have a wonderful Valentine's
or somebody
Day.
else's.
Yeah, exactly. So here we have the rum Grenache with the very nice rum and orange liqueur flavored. You can use any orange liqueur. It doesn't have to be Grand Marnier. We're just a little fancy around here.
Yeah.
We're a little fancy. So, George, have you taken a sip, and what do you think?
I have taken a sip. This is pretty yummy, and rum is not my preferred drink. The Grand Marnier either. These are, it's a little girly for me, but this is nice.
Oh, it's delicious.
Let me tell you something. That pairs really well because the chocolate's perfect. It's just enough sweet fruit chocolate and just enough bitterness and tannic from the fact that it's a 60%er. And it's amazing with this Grand Marnier.
The drink's really sweet.
Does make the drink way better.
They complement.
We're making
each other,
yummy sounds.
essentially. They really do complement each other well, folks. That's the second aspect we talk about. We contrast and we complement. What we're doing is we're finding resonance. The sweetness of this chocolate is matched by the sweetness of the rum and the Grand Marnier together. So they build an equal amount of sweetness, fruitiness, if you will, and flavor profile in your mouth so that you have something that works well together. And this is a very wonderful pairing. Now, Grand Marnier is a very interesting thing and very complex, I always thought, and kind of almost a mystery, wouldn't you say, everybody? You know how they
not anymore. You told us about it.
Well, it's funny because I was on the internet with that magical, wonderful thing, and I don't know where the heck this is. I don't know if I saved it. Oh, actually, I did. And I actually found a site that tells you how to make your own homemade Grand Marnier. So what you need is 4 oranges, right? A vanilla bean, 2.5 cups of vodka, 1 cup of brandy, a cup of white granulated sugar, a half a cup of water, and a glass container. I would like one of those big, almost mason jars, or the ones that have the stopper in the top.
Oh, yeah.
That you can use to make sangria and that type of thing. You wash and peel the oranges. You make sure that you take off all the white rind and cut it into strips, right? And then you put the oranges slices in the brandy and vodka mix, and you put the vanilla bean in there too. You put them all in the big glass container. You cover it, and you let it soak for about 3 weeks, okay? Real easy. You can even use an artificial sweetener. Not artificial, but you can use like a Truvia or something that's natural. Stevia, so that you don't have to get the calories. That's another good thing, okay? So you let it steep for 3 weeks. You let it soak. After 3 weeks, you strain and filter the mixture, okay? A coffee filter will work really good. And then you only want the liquid, right? You get out any big pieces, get rid of it. So you have this wonderful liquid now. So you heat up that cup of water, the half a cup of water, and 1 cup of sugar in it till you dissolve all the sugar and it boils just lightly. With a wooden spoon, you stir it around so the sugar's all done. You remove it from the heat. You allow it to cool completely so you have a sugar water base, and then you add that sugar water into the orange mixture that you had in the glass container, and then you age the liquor in your refrigerator for 4 more weeks. So it takes 2 months to make this. But it's pretty cool. You can make your own homemade Grand Marnier.
They have it right here around the corner.
Yeah,
I know. Right now, I could have some.
But this is kind of like a beverage culture thing, you know. It's a fun, geeky thing to do.
That would be.
I think that, you know, folks, if you want to go to
because you can make your own. Like if you get used to doing it a lot, you know, you can experiment with subtleties and different proportions.
Right, but go to ehow.com and then in the search put how to make your own Grand Marnier. And I thought that was pretty cool because I have a refrigerator in the back, you know, in the garage that I keep all my beer in and wine and stuff. And I can just make this up real quick because I like to fool around. I like to brew.
That's
I
what
like
I heard.
to make all
That's what
kinds.
your wife said. She's not happy about it.
But I like to make all kinds of different stuff, and I can keep it in my back refrigerator. And then one day I'd be like, "Hey, this is my own Grand Marnier," and we can be doing shots. And be like, "That's cool." That's cool, right? Because you got a lot of people that are home brewing. How many people are home cordialing, huh? I home cordial.
No, wow, that's impressive.
That's one of
when
you home cordial, man, you are like getting some like props.
I make my own cordials.
I make my own. What do you make your own? I'm like, what's up, Grandma?
I will say this: the wine and the rum, considering I can't eat the chocolate, is a really interesting.
Now, which wine? The Cabernet?
Yeah,
because the Cabernet was astringent and tannic.
Yeah,
and the rum was sweet.
Yeah, it was.
So you basically they balanced each other out.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I like this guy. He's double-fisted drinking over here.
Have to,
and he leaves chocolate for us.
Yeah, this is great. So once again, I'm going to try this wonderful drink that we made of rum and Grand.
And this has a name. This drink here.
It's called the Valentine's Day Special.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll call it the Valentine's Day Massacre.
Ooh, yeah, because it could end up pretty tragic.
Because if you drink some of these, you're going to end up massacring yourself.
Sweet. Mass what?
Massacre.
Massacre.
Massacre. That is a good way to do it.
I don't have a machine gun in here.
Absolutely.
What is that? More of this?
By the way, I'd like to thank Ed Roberts
Brett?
and Total Wine coming through. No, I'm good on that because I would be completely massacred if I drink too much of that. Thanks, Ed, and thanks, Total Wine. Total Wine donated the wonderful wines, the Sobon, and what was the second one? The Owl Ridge Cabernet.
Yeah, what's that cab? Let me hold that bottle.
Owl Ridge Cabernet.
I need this.
Yeah,
I need
it's a
this for
fantastic
later.
wine. Go out and buy some. Go out to your local Total Wine and talk to Ed. Anyway, and then the RL Seals Finest 10-Year-Old Rum. That's another one that Ed. Yeah, he's getting his bottle back.
Yeah,
sure
that
he
bottle.
is. Oh, sure. Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
get that
take
bottle
it
right
back.
to you, Ed. Yeah. Well, we're gonna leave a little bit in the bottom for
much
you.
I knew he wanted it back when I saw the fancy cork.
Yeah, exactly. He left. He lost his cork,
Yeah.
but he put a fancy one in there.
This cork,
Yeah.
I know the girl that this earring came out of her ear. Got them
There's
gauges.
still quite a bit in here, so thanks.
Yeah, he won't miss
Ed,
any.
Ed always.
That's all right. I'm not a rum guy, so you can have my
You're lucky. The Cuban's not into rum.
It's a
This
weird
Cuban
thing.
That's
I'm so un-Cuban in
because
so
he's
many
so
ways.
used to drinking the white man's
Just
the white
whiskey,
rum.
man, and gin. Whiskey and gin.
Whiskey, gin, and
I
lawyers,
don't.
guns,
Rum's a little
and
sweet. I
money.
just don't like the sweet. The older I get, the less sweet.
I've
I
heard
wanna
that about
drink.
you, George.
Yep.
Yeah, all the women
bitter. I'm
complain.
a bitter and hard bitten.
You're a bitter old.
Arr!
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna bust on to beer. I guess we'll bust out some beer.
Which I was all the way up. I was thinking about this beer and chocolate. That's not something that would
Well,
occur to me. Although,
right.
since I started doing this show with you, you've introduced me to a lot of really chocolatey and coffee-esque beers.
Yeah, you're gonna love these two.
That I think would
These are
would
gonna
go
be,
with this.
You're gonna love these. You're gonna absolutely love these two beers. These are right up the George alley.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, because they have a lot of fruitiness and they have a lot of real interesting. Let's see. Well, there's no wrong way to pair beer and chocolate. You just got to experiment.
I'm probably going to argue about that.
No, that's what they say.
Well, sure. No, like for the beer could be Coors, for example.
Oh, well, then it's refreshing. So you want something super sweet so that it
And
scours
then
your
it's the
palate.
wrong way.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're trying tonight is we're trying the Brooklyn Brown Ale first, and then we're going to go with the Lagunitas Chronic. Now they call it censored because they can't put the word chronic out there into the world. Because I don't know how well that would do for marketing. Although these guys
Good.
are freaking cool. Lagunitas is
It would be really good for marketing. That's why they won't use it.
Going. Yeah, it would be good for a lot of. We're gonna bust out the Brooklyn Brewery, of course, out of Williamsburg. Garrett Oliver, the quintessential brewmaster of the one of the finest breweries in the world. Basically wrote the book on pairings. Loves to do pairings. I'm sure he's doing a little chocolate pairing for himself tonight. And we have a caller. Hey, caller, how are you doing? This is Mr. Gary.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Gary?
Yes. Yes. Who is this?
This is Brett. I'm the host of By the Glass Show. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Well, yes, sir. I'm so sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I got a couple of minutes here. Gary, did you want to talk a little bit about just the three basic types of chocolate and more so, how do they make the white chocolate? I think we're wondering tonight on the show.
Well, actually, I'll give you my whole spiel about white chocolate. Prior to 1972, there was no such thing as white chocolate. According to the FDA, if you're going to call something chocolate, it had to be brown. But there was a lot of conversation between the FDA and the chocolate companies, and finally we kind of acquiesced to the FDA and said, okay, you can do whatever you want to, but in the vernacular, the public knows this substance as white chocolate. And the FDA came back and said, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll allow you to call it white chocolate. However, the only fat that can be in it is cocoa butter. You can't use any other type of fat or oil. And so at that point, white chocolate was born. White chocolate is a chocolate of thirds. It's a third cocoa butter, a third sugar, and a third dairy product.
Okay, so I'm pairing a white chocolate right now with a Brooklyn Brown Ale. Now, Brooklyn Brown Ale has a lot of really nice chocolatey malts to it. It has a wonderful American whole cone hop to balance that. So we're pairing it with this wonderful white chocolate that you're describing. I'm telling the folks at home, so please continue on, sir.
Okay. And well, let me first step back and say that I represent Guittard Chocolate Company. We are the suppliers for Chocolat Chocolate Factory here in Florida. And
this is amazing stuff you got here.
I'm sorry?
This is amazing stuff. I'm trying your white chocolate here with the Brooklyn Brown. You know what I taste in this white chocolate? It almost tastes kind of like cream cheese or kind of like a cheesecake aspect. Is that right?
Actually, the dairy product that's used in that is called Irish Milk Crumb, and it's supposedly the finest dairy product on the planet.
It's the best white chocolate I've ever tried in my life.
That really is amazing, and I decidededly don't. I'm a chocolate guy. I don't like white chocolate.
I don't like white chocolate. That was absolutely amazing.
I mean,
Gary.
there's a cream cheese.
Gary, I can't believe that I like that. That was really good.
I just ate that.
Yeah, white chocolate has always been looked down upon as the stepchild from all of the chocolate companies. If any other chocolate company in the world, they always produce a white chocolate. They can have 10 or 20 dark chocolates and milk chocolates, but they always have a white chocolate because it's never been terribly popular because it doesn't have those strong chocolatey overtones to it. So that's why nobody produces more than one. At Guittard, we produce 5 because there are distinct differences in the dairy that we use. There are distinct differences in the cocoa butters that we use. We use some from South America, from Brazil. We use some from Africa. We use some from the Middle East, from India, and they all have different flavor notes.
It's amazing.
And
no, that was amazing because usually, like you said, in the flavor notes, it's always that aftertaste of white chocolate that gets me. It's almost too processed or there's something I don't like. Yours had a really fresh, vibrant, like I could taste the freshness of it.
Really?
Yeah.
My impression of white chocolate usually is that just tastes sweet and that's nothing else, man. Just
and
sugar
in fact,
butter.
That's the impression that I get from a lot of other white chocolates, and it's because this is not. That's not something that the other chocolate companies are focused on. You know, they, as I said, everybody else has a white chocolate, and it's something that they have to have just to be able to compete with everybody else. But at Guittard, our president, Gary Guittard, who is a fourth-generation chocolatier, has set very, very high standards, and he said. Number one, we're not going to produce anything that is not better than everybody else's. And we're not going to produce anything that is not the absolute best product that we can produce.
Fantastic. Well, that's absolutely one of the most finest products I've tasted in a long time. I know that you're on a time restriction here, and I do appreciate you taking your busy time to call in here to Buy the Glass show we do. Now, could you talk to me a little bit about just basically all the other thing for the folks at home, just the basic difference between the dark and the milk? Now, I know that one has more cocoa than the other, but is that all there is, or is there some other things that really bring out the differences?
No. And I'm trying to remember the different chocolate samples that Chocolat is sent.
Well,
but
I have it right here. She started us out with the dark Grenache, then we did a raspberry Grenache, a rum Grenache, and then we just did the cheesecake truffle, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And then that's why it tastes like cheesecake. Huh. And then the last one we have is the milk pistachio cluster. So they're all absolutely phenomenal.
And I'm really excited about that last one there because I like pistachio.
And we got a wonderful beer to pair it with, too. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think pistachio is another flavor that is underplayed.
Amen.
Simply because not everybody knows how to develop those flavors. You know, and pistachio is something like lavender. It's either not quite enough or way too much.
Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
It's a difficult flavor to get right, and I think that Chocolat has gotten that one right.
Yeah. So how does it work, Gary? Do you actually give them raw product and then they produce, or do you ship it? How does it work?
We are the chocolate manufacturer.
Right.
We are the people that go to the jungles of Western Africa and Central America and places like that. We bring in the cocoa beans. We roast the cocoa beans. And we develop the different chocolate flavors.
So
now,
on the list here, you're the chocolate makers that take the cocoa beans and refine them from the cocoa farmers.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is
Great.
correct.
That's fantastic.
And then we have, and this is the way I explain to everyone. Well, first of all, Guittard makes probably conservatively 250 different chocolates because we try to make something unique for everyone's experience. And what we say to people is we only make paint. You're the ones that put this paint on your palette, and you're the ones that do the actual creation. And that's what Chocolat does. They take some of our basic ingredients and turn them into some of the most marvelous truffles and ganaches that I have seen anywhere.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Now we're about to try the pistachio with a wonderful pairing, a really nice amber ale that has a lot of nutty tones to it and a lot of fruity tones to it. How do you feel this really wonderful pistachio nut Grenache would work with something with a lot of fruity and nutty tones?
Well, here's what I try to explain to people when we're doing both chocolate and wine pairings or chocolate and ale pairings, things like that. Is a good rule of thumb is that the beverage should be perceived as a little bit sweeter than the chocolate.
Okay.
And that's the way you start off in a pairing. But now, not every pairing works. In this ale, I think that the pistachio brings up some very unique nutty flavors that I think would go well with the ale.
It does. This is one of the best pairings of the night because it's a wonderful American amber ale, but it has caramel malts. Now, caramel malts are kind of like a Cracker Jack almost, the way that they take the sugar and they cook it so that you give a really wonderful toffee, raisin fruit, and really, really nice toasty notes along with that nuttiness I was talking about. And this chocolate is exceptional. It is absolutely working perfectly. I found a wonderful resonance, like you're saying. The ale is just a bit sweeter than the chocolate, and it's making it together. They are greater than the sum of their parts. They are absolutely phenomenal, Gary.
This is great. You really taste the pistachio.
That should be the goal for every pairing. And I just finished a pairing here at Johnson Wales University, the culinary school, and that was the way we started off this conversation. Is that the totals should equal more than the sum of its parts.
Mm-hmm.
That you should have a unique flavor experience that you wouldn't get had you not paired these two.
Amazing, amazing.
That was delicious.
Yeah, fantastic.
The pistachio.
Gary, thank you so much for calling in, Mr. Gary Dinsill. Absolutely. Thank you for taking your time. You are an artiste. And
well, thank you very much. And I wish everyone a wonderful and happy and safe Valentine's Day.
You too, sir. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you for calling in to Buy the Glass Show. We really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome.
Have a great night. Okay, bye-bye. What a great guy. Gary's a great guy.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's impressive, man. He brings chocolate. He makes chocolate. He's like a rock star.
Folks, that guy goes into the jungle.
Right.
And deals with the farmers. Remember, it only grows within 15 degrees of north and south of the equator. That is the jungle.
Yep.
And he comes out with chocolate. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
And then he makes the chocolate that he sells to these wonderful places like Chocolat.
If I went into the jungle, I would come out with ticks in my hair and mosquito bites.
With what?
Ticks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that other
those two.
What did you think I said?
I'm not going to say on air. One in each orifice. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
Ticks in each orifice.
Yeah, ears. What did you think he was talking about, Dio? You filthy
folks,
gutter,
I really
gutter
got
mind.
tonight. I really got to thank a lot of people. By the way, it's Valentine's Day, and everybody grab your sweetheart and give her a big kiss, or him a big kiss. Oh, sorry, George. And
I forgot you were married.
And do a really wonderful pairing. It doesn't have to be chocolate; it can be a food, but use beverage because it's a wonderful way to express yourself and your passions. To drink the taste, folks, and enjoy beverage culture. It's something that's out there for us. It's the fruits of everybody's labor. Thank you so much to Chocolat. Thank you so much to Guitar Chocolates. Thank you so much to Gary Dinsill and the folks over at Chocolat. Definitely Mr. Baruch Shaked and all those people out there. Thanks to Total Wine for donating the beer. We love to, Daphne Reich, Adriana Shaked, all the people out there that are making the wonderful world of chocolate come alive for you in South Florida. Like I said, these guys are local down there, University Nova Drive in Davie. Dio's practically out the door, going over there to get something for his better half. I think that's a good thing for you guys to do too. Create your own pairings and make sure, like Gary said, like we say on Buy the Glass, make sure that the things separate are wonderful, but together they create something you could not find in each individual. They need to be better than the sum of their parts. You can do that with all kinds of things. And you know what? It can make life zesty. What's pretzel without mustard? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then a nice cold lager to wash it down, right? And you know what? That's the simple beer pairing that you do on your couch when you're watching football. Seriously.
We had it last week at the Mac House.
You did. And it's so simple, but that's the kind of concept that can bring you into the next level. And then you start tasting all these wonderful foods that you ate anyway. Everybody eats steak, if you're not a vegetarian. But but then you have it with the wonderful wine because you learn how to drink wine and steak together on By the Glass. And you know what? It's a wonderful experience. We are trying to better your life, folks, because this is how I live my life. This is what I do on a daily basis. I eat, drink, and sleep beverage. Just ask my wife. She's ready to kill me. And it's something that I find a lot of passion in, and I find a lot of fun, and it's brought me to this wonderful place to where I get to hang out with these guys on Thursday nights and talk to you. So I really
we get to hang out with you.
Oh, you're too kind. I'm blushing on Valentine's Day. So anyway, it's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh wait, that's not ready.
Oh, sorry.
Ignore that.
I really want to thank everybody.
I got all excited. You looked at your
for
watch.
being a part of it. George, so George, who are you going to stalk tonight? I mean, we got plans?
I got movie night. It's platonic. I have no Valentines. Thanks for bringing that up.
No problem.
Going through a nasty divorce. I just cry and cry.
We didn't mean to laugh at your
Drink
face.
myself to sleep with all the stuff that's left over. But I have a wonderful movie night planned. We're going to watch.
Left over.
We're going to watch The Man with the Iron Fist.
That's
or
perfect
Fist
for
of Iron or
Valentine's.
something
People
like that.
beat
And
the
we're
crap
going
out
to
of
take
each
these
other.
leftover chocolates.
Absolutely. And
then
you
everything
have
with
any
me.
good plans for?
No.
I'm going to go have dinner with my lovely wife. And by the way, it is our first anniversary on Sunday. Everybody wishes
Happy
to
anniversary.
Yeah, my
Congrats,
lovely
sir.
wife. I've been married for a year of absolute bliss, and I love her to death. So happy anniversary and happy Valentine's Day, my lovely. And we'll see y'all next week. We'll hopefully do some live remote somewhere and get something for free.
Sure. I love that. That's what it's
That's
all about.
good, right?
That's
We
what
love doing
broadcasting's
those.
all
Good
about.
night. Have a
Let's
great
get a scam.
and safe night. Don't drink and drive, and be responsible on Valentine's Day, okay? No drinking under 21. If you're pregnant,
Right.
you can wait. And please enjoy all these products.
It's only 9 months. It's
responsibly.
like
It's
that.
only 9 months. It goes by so quick. All right. Like a By the Glass show. Goes by in the blink of an eye. All right. Good night, folks. Love you.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com.